Welcome to Recaps with CineMax. Everyone's favorite comedian is back on the big screen. Okay, he might not be everyone's favorite, but he is quite funny. After giving films like Central Intelligence, Ride Along, and Get Hard, Kevin Hart decided to go to night school. Even though it was an underwhelming effort, the movie still gives some moments of laughter to its audience. Even for Kevin Hart himself, he might have expected it to go a tad bit better, but that's probably the best he could have done with the script of this movie. Kevin Hart is taking advantage of his current status right now by starring in as many movies as possible, making as much money as he can. Regardless of the content, he is putting out for his fans and the public. The story begins in 2001 when a high school student, Theodore Teddy Walker, Kevin Hart, drops out when he is unable to concentrate during a crucial test that is going on. Even though the film's start seems like it will build on some good stuff, it doesn't pick things up that way, as Teddy is just shown to fail his test, and then the story is picked up 17 years later in the year 2018. In 2018, Teddy made a living by selling barbecue grills while dating a woman called Lisa Megalinechikun. All seems to be going well until Teddy is given control of the store where he works when he knows that the current manager is retiring. This freaks out Teddy a little bit, but then he braces himself up to stick up to the challenge. As this news comes about, Teddy proposes to Lisa in the same store, and while proposing, he accidentally triggers an explosion when a champagne cork pops open a gas tank. The store manager takes insurance from the explosion and then immediately decides to move to Florida, leaving Teddy and his mess alone. During this time, the film's pace does set up a bit, but it still isn't enough to convince the audience that something good is coming up. Kevin Hart as Teddy continues to make those one-liners and quirky face expressions that he's always made while playing comical roles. Even the story is predictable by this point, with the same old particular path to be followed. The jokes go on a bit too long, making the entire film very cringe at times. Moving on, Teddy is now jobless, but not all hope is lost. He comes to know from his best friend Marvin, Ben Schwartz, that he can still get a job at his financial investment firm, but only if he has a general educational development (GED) degree. Teddy decides to go to his old school, where he believes he can charm the principal, Stuart, Taran Killam, into giving him a degree. Little does he know that the principal over there is a person whom he bullied in school. He does have the option to enroll himself in a night school semester taught by Ms. Tiffany Haddish, who has some unorthodox ways of making her students learn things. At the same time, Teddy tells Lisa that he already has a job for Marvin while secretly working at a local fast food restaurant to give himself some income. With all of the students facing difficulty in class, Teddy convinces them to help steal the answers. After Carrie realizes what has happened, Teddy takes the blame on himself and gets expelled. He then requests Carrie to let him back because he genuinely wants to do better. Carrie gives him the condition that he needs to be tested for learning disabilities if he wants back in. After being tested, Teddy is diagnosed with dyslexia, dyscalculia, and other processing issues, but Teddy can cope due to Carrie's new learning systems. He soon begins to settle comfortably into night school as he becomes good friends with his classmates. Teddy's growth in this part is probably the most positive part of the film, where he is shown as a troublemaker but a person who is willing to turn his life around for good. As the last class of the semester is on prom night, Teddy suggests that they attend too. But things take a turn for the worse when Teddy is confronted by Lisa, who Stuart brings to school that night under the pretense of corporate sponsorship to improve the school. Lisa is hurt that Teddy was lying to her and breaks up with him, giving him the condition that he needs to give up on night school and the GED. Demotivated and shattered, Teddy is visited by Carrie and Stuart to apologize, with Stuart accepting his mistake, saying he crossed a line. Carrie manages to convince Teddy to return for the GED. Even though he doesn't complete it with his classmates, he eventually completes it after another 4 attempts. During graduation, Teddy makes a speech to the students who attended the night school about how they all proved that second chances are possible. This speech is witnessed by Lisa as well. Afterward, Teddy apologizes to Lisa for lying to her and then asks her out again. A cheeky moment occurs here where Teddy says he's broke and Lisa will have to pay for everything, to which she says, "I figured and I got you." Hence, the movie ends on a happier note where everything could have gone to a big nasty mess. Overall, Night School has some funny moments, but it isn't good enough to be given a positive rating anywhere. The weak script made the performances even more fragile, and in all honesty, it isn't Kevin Hart's best performance, so if this movie does go down as the worst Kevin Hart movie ever, it won't come as a surprise to us or the audience. Here's to hoping that Kevin Hart does better films in the future.